It was public knowledge that Tasha K had RKELLY jail records when she went live on her platform, Unwind with Tasha K, and began reading his emails. The public then notified the warden at MCC, who, to his credit, got in touch with Internal Affairs with the BOP and the Department of Justice and launched an investigation. September 7th, 2021, the Chicago Sun-Times, the Chicago Tribune, and the Daily Mail all reported that the investigation was done by the DOJ, wrongdoing was found by Officer A, and she quietly retired. We heard audio of a federal informant confessing to flipping. We saw video footage of Azriel in Las Vegas. We saw a confession and verifiable proof that the federal informant bribed a federal witness with $3,100 for a couch and bribed her mother with $2,500. Steinbeck resigned. Greenberg, Leonard, Anton were fired. Farinella was the only lawyer from 2019 that made it to the New York trial, along with Blank Becker, Canick, and Scholar. All of them were fired. Robert brought in a new team, and a new legal team came on October 29th, 2021. And we see from Farinella's exit letter, they were responsible for post-trial motions that were due. The new team came on October 29th, 2021, and post-trial motions were due February 17th, 2022, along with the 151-page sentencing report preparing for sentencing. So there was no time for the new legal team to even look into BOP jail records. They were consumed with learning the case, doing post-trial motions, and doing the sentencing report, preparing for sentencing for Robert from the New York trial. When I began investigating this, March of 2022, the Barnjean Law Group had just recently signed on, and they were consumed with the post-trial motions and the sentencing report, so they had no knowledge or even the time to look into what. These were my videos that I had already put out on social media. They're on unlisted because I had already sent them to the Department of Justice and the BOP and the wardens. So all of this was my work that preceded the new law team. So March is when I began alerting Robert, April, May, and he's the one that encouraged me to send it to his lawyers. He told his lawyers to focus on this, and then I emailed his law team July 13th, 2022. The story had died. It lay dormant for over a year until I began refocusing on it as a result of being attacked by the federal informant and his terrorist group. Because I was protesting Jane Doe 5's interviews and using the reports, court documents that stated her mother knew that she lied about her age, using my First Amendment right, free speech, to peacefully protest interviews, just saying we need to reach out to the people interviewing her and make sure they know all the facts of the case. The federal informant sent his terrorist organization to relentlessly attack me. Even though he was newly released from jail, even though he told the judge he was going to be a new man, he returned to the scene of the crime and returned to his terrorist behavior. That made me focus on him and why he had such a vested. Once I realized that his interest was because he co-conspired with others to flip federal witnesses, and I had some evidence to support that, I began a letter writing campaign to the Department of Justice and the Bureau of Prisons, Internal Affairs, and their legal. I curated interviews for Robert, first with Rick Party, who aired it on Natasha Simona. Levi brought in Storm. I then did Dre, Corey Holcomb, Kwame Brown. He brought in Whack on No Jumper, and of course Vlad TV. And then I did Willie D. The Willie D interview got 123,429 views recently, and almost 60,000 views of the audio of the federal informant confessing. Thousands and thousands and thousands of letters are reaching the Department of Justice, telling them that they hear a federal informant confessing. And this is akin to Keefe D confessing, which is grounds to file charges against the federal informant. That is huge. That is enormous. Piggybacking on my work, the lawsuits were filed, which also made enough noise and got enough public opinion involved that the Department of Justice is overwhelmed with information, that the public is aware of this. All of that works together for the benefit of Robert. The lawsuit complements all the work that I've done for the past 2-3 years, and it complements the curated interviews that R. Kelly has been given for the past year, and it also complements the dossier that I've already sent to the Department of Justice. I sent a 70-page dossier to Merrick Garland, the United States Attorney General, to Lisa Monaco, the United States Deputy Attorney General, and to Michael Horowitz, the Inspector General, March of 2023. I believe they relaunched the investigation into the BOP jail records May 1st, 2023, so we are coming up on the 7th month of that. My reconnaissance of investigations, interviews, timelines, me fact-checking the preponderance of evidence sent to them so that 98% of the job is done. 98% of their work is done. All they've got to do is bring it home. Evidence of terrorism by the federal informant and his criminal enterprise on social media. Links of causation between Officer A, Tasha K, the blogger, and the federal informant, with probable cause, links of causation, a preponderance of evidence beyond reasonable doubt, enough to get this investigation reopened and accelerated. It's done. A preponderance of evidence beyond reasonable doubt. Relaunch the investigation into the BOP files of R. Kelly being passed and made public and used to influence the outcome of both of his trials.
It's handled. We all watched Sharron WINBUSH do nothing but talk about the BOP, and I can go back. She went in 2021 talking about this going into 2022. Let's be real. She's pulling strings. She is the one putting it in his head. And see, this is the thing that I'm saying. I respect everyone's opinion, but what I feel is she is the one putting it in his head that you need to go after this. You need to go after this. And when a person is that, I feel Sharron WINBUSH is a person that's putting it out here, making it a big issue, making him do this, making him do that. He started listening to her. And she started feeding this shit into his head because she was the only one. It happened in 2019, y'all. It happened, she accessed these documents in 2019, if I'm not mistaken. And it came out in 2020. You know what I'm saying? And they started investigating. Why all of a sudden in 2023 we talking about it when it should have been talked about in 2020? I'm saying that R. Kelly is saying this. If R. Kelly wanted to say this in 2023, why he ain't come out in 2020 and say it? Why he ain't come out in 2019 when it was first being put out? When it was being put out by Tasha K, why didn't R. Kelly address it? Why didn't he address it in 2020 or 2021? Now, he started listening to her. And she started feeding this shit into his head because she was the only one. He's the only one.